Hello from the lake and welcome back to yet another ultralight fishing video. Today I'm going to be throwing a double jig rig to start. We're going to go with the flow and see what happens, but no matter what, today's goal is simple. I just want to catch some fish. I don't really care what species. I'd be happy with bluegill, crappie, bass. It doesn't really matter. I'm just happy to be on the water, happy to be in my kayak. Let's get started. I actually have a big swim bait rod in the back of my kayak and I was trying that for a while, but I didn't have any success. So I decided, you know what? Got the ultralight with me. Let's just go catch fish. You know, I'm always experimenting with different techniques and always looking to get better as an angler. And that's where I wanted to bring the big stick. But after a while, I decided, you know what, let's just ultralight fish. You can always bring an ultralight if you just want to leave the day having caught some fish. And that's what we're doing today. And there you go. It took me a whopping one cast and we're on the board with a little bluegill. Nothing big, but it's a start, and he bit the chartreuse jig. I've got an all black donkey-tailed junior on the bottom and then an all chartreuse mule minnow 1.2 on the top. When I've fished here in the past, I have had success for crappie, but that was a different time of year, so I don't know if there'll be any crappie here, but it looks like there'll be bluegill. 2 casts in a row, that's good. I figured the double jig rig would be good because it seems like the bluegill are all schooled up and stuff, and this will be a good way to kind of double my chances. Okay, that's 2 for 2 on the chartreuse. You know, I've got 2 1/64 ounce mule jigs rigged up on there, so it's gonna have a pretty slow rate of fall. And I did that intentionally because there's quite a bit of vegetation in the shallows and the fish are positioned pretty high in the water column from what I've seen. So I don't want it to sink too fast. There's another one. Probably another bluegill. Oh, it's a largemouth. And he went for the donkey-tailed junior. Not a very big largemouth, but fun little fight. There you go. Okay, cool. 2 species. All right, buddy. There you go. Well, it ain't much, but 2 species. Let's keep moving and grooving. See what we catch next. There's one. Ooh, this might be a big bluegill. Maybe it's a bass. I don't know, it's fighting pretty hard. I think it's a big bluegill. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. On the donkey-tailed junior. Went for the black. Look at that one. That's a little bit better bluegill. So there we go. We've caught 2 fish on the bottom jig and 2 fish on the top jig. And now this fish is going nuts. Chill out, buddy. Chill out, chill out. That's a respectable bluegill. Not a giant, but he put up a good fight. Another one. This is a smaller fish, I think. Oh, actually, he might be pretty good. He was just coming towards me. Is this a largemouth? No, another big bluegill. Another nice bluegill. And again, on the black one. All right, our bigger bluegill have both went for the black. The smaller bluegill have went for the chartreuse. Not sure if there's something to be said for that or if it's just random. But that's a pretty little fish right there. I'll take fish like that all day long on ultralight, my friends. Good, good, good. Well, we're up to 3 on the black, 2 on the chartreuse. Eventually I'm gonna lose count, but I might as well keep count while I can. I just find it interesting. I find it, like, I feel like it's neat to see if you can try to learn a thing or two. I feel like reality is almost every time I throw the double jig rig, it's very inconclusive. But in this case, I don't know, we'll find out. Yeah, it's another nice one on the black. And that's actually the biggest one yet, and he choked it. Look at that. Hey, he choked it, I'm telling you. He likes that all black. I don't know, I think there might be something to be said. That's our best fish yet. It's a nice, healthy bluegill, beautiful colors. And there you have it, my friends. I think that would be 4 fish on the black, 2 on the chartreuse. We are learning. We are out here learning. This is an experiment. We've done this before, we'll do it again. I enjoy doing this. Double jig rig, try to learn a thing or two. That's another fish. And it's gonna be another nice bluegill. And this one went for the chartreuse. Okay, well there you go. Hard to say what we're learning. Might not be learning anything at all. Might just be learning that the bluegill are hungry. I simply don't care who you are. Bluegill are amazing fish. They are beautiful, they are fun, and I love them. And I'll tell you what, they love a double jig rig. You know, you got 2 tiny jigs on there, you got double the chances, double the fun. It's always a good time. We're off to a nice start because this dock is absolutely paying off. He's just had a nice little school of good bluegill. Not giants, but all quality, you know, all about 6 to 7.5 inches. And there's another one. That was like a really light bite. And as you can see, it's just going back and forth doing circles. So I'm pretty confident it's another gill. And my friends, that's a nice one. That's a nice one. God, they're chunky, they're healthy, they're beautiful. These are wonderful little fish, my friends. You know, I definitely think that the black is gonna be the better of the two, because that's another one on the black. And it seems like these bigger bluegill might prefer it a little bit. So how I'm working this little double jig rig is very, very simple. I cast it out there and I keep my rod tip pointed up and I just let it sink. And then if it gets down towards the bottom or down towards the grass, oh man, that fish held it. I felt the bite, but I didn't think he had it. Looked like he must have just kind of sucked it up and just kind of held it. Another respectable gill. But really, it's very simple. I'm just kind of casting out and letting it sink. And it's all about that sink, my friends. You know, I don't know. I can't prove this. I don't think this is a fish that I've hooked, but this fish has absolutely been caught before because he's got a big hole in the top of his mouth. I highly, highly, highly doubt it's the same fish that we've caught already, but he's definitely been caught recently. He got a big hole right in his nose. I mean, I guess technically speaking, it might be one we already caught, but I don't remember seeing one that looks quite like this. Hard to say. Anyways, nice, respectable fish. So like I was saying, really, really simple technique. You don't necessarily have to overthink it. When you use these really lightweight jigs, you just got to let the jigs do the work for you. Cast it out there, keep your rod tip pointed high so that way you can kind of detect bites a little easier, watch that line, and just let it sink nice and slow. If it gets down there in the grass, you can twitch it up like so, and then just get it back down there to where it's sinking. These fish are likely going to be suspended, probably pretty high in the water column, and they're going to be looking up. They're going to bite on the fall almost always. You know, I could be absolutely twitching it back and whatnot, but I don't find that bluegill like to chase a ton. I find that they like to eat things that just kind of drop right on their head. You know, they might dart out and grab it, but they don't usually like track a bait. Oh man. Not a bad little fish right there. I was about ready to pass up on this dock, but I just dropped it down there and just kind of twitched it around. This guy came out and hammered it. Went for the chartreuse jig. All right. When they bite the top one, it gets me a little nervous because I feel like I'm always gonna get hooked by the bottom one because it's just swinging around. There we go. Little buddy, thanks for the fight. Oh, that fish was quite a ways offshore. I wonder if this will be a crappie. I zinged it out there because I figured, hey, let's try something different. And I tell you what, that's actually one of our bigger bluegill. That might be our biggest fish. He's really fat. That's a beauty right there. There's a lot of pleasure boaters out and about, and they are pushing me around in my kayak right now, so that's a little annoying. I trust I'll still be able to catch some fish, but I went ahead and bounced over to the other side, fish some different water for a little while, see what happens. Another one. Man, catching a lot of bluegill. No true giants, but a nice, respectable amount of fish, and they're all pretty decent in size, so I'm happy. I feel like I really don't want to do this, but I'm gonna spray my face. I feel like my face really needs sunscreen right now. I really don't want to do this. This is gonna be terrible. Ugh. What do we have here? Another one. It's Bluegill City, my friends. Bluegill City, USA. There you go. Whoa! He just slipped right through my hands. Well, the fishing has definitely been on fire today. I've caught a ton of fish, and I've caught some nice bluegill in the mix too. And I gotta say, I do think that the double jig rig was the most effective lure I could have put on. The bluegill are shallow, they're aggressive, they're hungry. I feel like they're aggressive enough to where you might as well put 2 jigs in front of their face as opposed to just 1. I do think that the black was the better play today. I think that it would be, you know, best to throw something a little bit more natural, a little bit more toned down. That being said, they were willing to eat the chartreuse as well because they are still aggressive. I definitely think I caught at least double the fish on the black though. So I feel like that's interesting, always to pay attention to what color works better for you when you use this rig right here. All in all, I am gonna get going home here shortly. Maybe I'll catch a couple of fish along the way, but I really appreciate you watching and I hope you're having a great fall so far. We'll catch you next time. There you go. Oh, a little dink to end it. On the chartreuse. Oh man, I hooked you weird. How about that giant right there?